Yo, what's going on, guys? Trusted here, bringing you my first episode of editing tutorials. So I hope this series helps you out. And yeah, let's get right into it. So this episode we're going to be covering text, slow motion, and black bars. It's basically kind of beginning your video and how everything, I guess, gets started in an edit. So I already have my song and my clip imported. This is just a private match shot. And just a song. But if you don't know how to import clips, what you're going to do is going to go to File, down to Import, go over to Media, and then wherever your clip is, just import it, and you'll have it selected, and press Open, and it'll put the clip in. But I already have it imported, so I'm not going to do that. So what we're going to do to get started is we're just going to drag our clip down to this little timeline bar, and we're also going to drag our song. So now one of the first things that we're going to do is actually, I'll wait to do that. So what we're gonna do first is black bars, and oh, actually, no, I'm stupid. Sorry if this video is all over the place. I'm just doing it off the top of my head. The very first thing you need to do with any project video that you put in Sony Vegas is you need to disable resample, and what that is, it basically removes all ghosting and the stuff that makes your video look bad. So to do that, you're gonna go to the clip. You're going to make sure the video is highlighted. You're going to right click, go to switches, and go down to, you'll notice that smart resample is selected. You're going to change it to disable resample. It'll make your video look all nice and non-ghosty and stuff. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add black bars. So to do that, we're going to basically have our video track highlighted right here, and we're going to right click, and we're going to go to insert video track. And we're actually going to do that again, where we're going to have two empty video tracks. This one's going to be for text, this one's going to be for black bars. And you want to make sure your black bars are always on top, because it like basically goes over everything. So we're going to get our black bars, we're going to go, whoops, if this ever happens, just go and right click right there, or double click. So if this ever happens, we're going to go over to this little bar, and we're going to go to media generators, go to solid color, white, and then drag it on. And you're gonna want to make sure this is covering all of your video, or even more. I just usually do it more to be safe. And you'll notice the whole thing is just white, and there's no black bars. So we're gonna go over here to these two little green boxes. You're gonna click it. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. You're gonna click it and go to multiply mask, and you'll notice there's still no black bars. But so now to do that, we're gonna go over to the pan and crop button. Click it, and you're going to make sure that the lock aspect ratio is unhighlighted. And now basically you can either drag from the top or the bottom. I usually drag from the bottom, I don't know why, I just do. And you're going to just drag in. You obviously don't want your black bars like that big, but you can make them any size that you want. And I'll probably just do it about right there. That seems like a good size. And then you can just X this out, and now you have black bars covering your video. So now we're going to do slow motion so that we can get ready for the text. And so we're going to go to the point right before we go for the shot, and actually a little bit before we go for the shot, whatever that is. Hold on. Okay. So it should be. So we'll probably end it right here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make sure the video is highlighted. And you can either right click and press split, or I usually just press S on my keyboard. So you're going to press S or right click and press split, and you'll notice it'll split it. And so now there's like no room to actually make slow motion. So to do that, we're going to drag this over a little bit, and you'll notice this big empty space. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the end of this clip. You'll notice these two arrows in this box, and it'll say trim event end. But what you're going to want to do when you see that is you're going to hold control on your keyboard, and you're going to notice it's going to change the time stretch, and the little squiggly line is going to come up under it, and you're just going to drag it out. And you can make it as slow as you want, or you can to make it faster, you just do the opposite and drag it in. But we're going to obviously do slow motion. So if you notice it's all slow now, I'll play it for you. It might be a little loud with the music and stuff, but I'm sorry for that. I don't really know how to fix it. But yeah, so this is what the slow motion will be like. It feels like now obviously that wasn't really slow. I can, if it isn't slow enough, you can obviously slow it down more, which I'll probably just stretch out and do this. So you'll notice it'll be slower, so I'll play it one more time.
It feels like I can finally fly.
So now you notice that's slower. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add some text on that to you know, just spice things up. And one more quick note is that if you have audio on it and it's slowed down, it'll basically sound like, because like the audio isn't that high up on this clip, I don't know why, but you'll notice it'll sound really gross and disgusting. So to fix that, you're gonna go to highlight the audio, right click, go down to properties, and press lock to stretch. Make sure that box is checked. Or if you want to and you just don't want the audio on and on, you add your own gunshots, what you're gonna do is make sure the audio is highlighted, press U on your keyboard, and then press delete, or just right click and delete. And so that's how you delete the audio. So there's no audio on here anymore, so I don't know, I'll just keep the audio on there just because. So now we're gonna add some text. So what we're gonna do to do that is go to the empty video track below the black bars and above the clip. We're gonna right click and press insert text media. You'll notice this really crappy sample text will come up, and we're basically just gonna change it to whatever we want. So first I'll actually pick a font. I usually use Typograph Pro because it's the nicest looking font, and size 24, 20. I usually use 22 to 30 depending on just how big the text is. And so a lot of things I like to do with Typograph, you can either just leave it like this. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Make sure this thing is highlighted. You can just leave it like this, where it's just like regular. I'll just put editing tutorial, and there's like the text is like that. Or a lot of times I like to do it in all caps. I don't know, it just kind of looks a little different and cool. So I'll just leave it in all caps. Yeah, so we're now that's good. So we're just gonna close out of that, and so now you kind of notice it's just kind of there. There's no like fade in, or the clip just ends and then the text just goes away. So what we're gonna do to do that is we're gonna go to the very corner, and we're going to drag it, and you'll notice this little curve thing will come. We're just gonna drag it to however long we want it to fade in, and same thing with the video actually. So now if you notice, it'll fade in
It feels
like that. So I'll drag that out a little more actually, and then same thing to fade out, you just drag it inwards. And you'll notice the text just kind of blankly just kind of like shows up and stays in the same spot, and it's kind of boring. And I mean, that's perfectly fine if you like it like that, but I'm going to show you a couple cool things that you can do with it, and you can just kind of experiment with yourself. But I'm going to take these bars off just so you can see like the, not bars, but the fade, just so you can see like the full effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the little event pan crop thing right here, and you're gonna, this comes up like the black bars, but you're going to want to make sure that the lock aspect ratio is highlighted on this. And what we're going to do is you can do things where you like come, if the text appears there, then it ends up like over there, or you can do something like the complete opposite, and you can add some like rotation in there, and then basically end up to where it goes to the end and it's like rotated the other direction and all that jazz. But I'm just going to do kind of like a basic one, and so we're going to go to the beginning of the clip, and I'll make it kind of come out and then in. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag into however big we want it to be, and then we're going to go all the way to the end of the clip and then just drag out. And if it doesn't show up because the thing's still in the same spot, but if you want to, you go to the end of here, and you'll notice that, whoops, there we go, you'll notice that's how big it is and stuff. So we'll put it about right there maybe. And now if you notice on this little sample thing, you can see the little box going back and forth. So we're just going to add the fades back in, and now if you notice, the text has a cool little animation.
It feels like I can finally fly.
So now another effect that I like to add, just kind of emphasize the text that it's there and stuff, is I like to blur the little clip and then make the blur fade out into when the clip starts. So what we're going to do that is we're going to make sure the video is highlighted, and we're going to go to video effects, go down to Gaussian blur, and I have preset ones, but I'll just start from scratch. And you're gonna grab the default, drag it onto the single clip, not the actual video track, so that'll blur everything. But you're gonna notice there's a lot of blur, and you can't really tell what's going on in the background. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna move it. I preferably use about 75 to 100 or 120. So I'll probably put it to 80. That's 800 actually. 80 right there. And you want to make sure you do it on both, or else it'll look like that and really crappy. And so now they're both on 80, and there's a little bit of blur. But if you notice, the blur just stays on the clip the whole way through. And then once it gets to the end, it just cuts out. And that doesn't look good, so what we're going to do to change that is we're going to click this little button right here next to the pan crop. And we're going to click these two little stopwatches and go drag this little bar all the way to the end and reset these to 0. And you'll notice the numbers are changing and the blur just kind of fades out. But personally, me, I don't like it when the blur just kind of like fades out all the way like from the beginning. So what I like to do to fix that is I go drive this bar and move it to about right there, and then I'll put it back at 80 right here, so that the blur stays there for a good while before it actually disappears, so where it's like lasts the whole text. So you notice it'll just be blur, 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 and then it'll start to fade out, so that we can watch that and see how good it looks.
It feels like I can finally fly.
So that's basically how it looks and stuff. So I hope this helped you out, guys, and if you did, be sure to leave a like if you did enjoy these. And next episode I'll be doing syncing and stuff, and then the episode after that I'll be doing screen pumps and screen flashes. So be ready for that. And yeah, guys, it's been Trusted, and I'm out. Peace.